All right. What's this Pokemon video talking about? Pokemon finally did it. We did it. Now I'm not gonna lie, this dude got a little bit of dislikes, but it says the Pokemon anime is doing a time skip. Now I'm a big ass Pokemon fan. Like I got a Switch downstairs, got a DS downstairs. I played most of the games on the DS. When the new Pokemon game's out, I'm gonna play it. I still love Pokemon. I be playing Pokemon Showdown in study hall, cooking niggas in the class. Like I be like, yo, you try to hop out Showdown just to cook niggas. So I'm about to watch this video, hopefully get a better understanding of what's going on with the Pokemon anime, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, the last one I really watched was Sun and Moon. My favorite one's X and Y, because you know, Ash Greninja, again.
That's right. The Pokemon anime is finally doing what nobody thought it would ever do: a time skip. Yes,
I think everyone thought it would do that.
On the characters. So here's
hold on. I don't gotta play this bitch quiet as hell, because it's not no fucking anime.
What it means for the Pokemon anime.
Okay, nigga, don't get too carried away. That's a little too fucked.
For Pokemon in general, and even for Ash Ketchum. And for just a second, we've got to rewind to 2022.
That's low-key a bar, like Ketchum.
Back then, the possibility of a time skip wasn't on anyone's radar. And even when Ash was on the road to win the World Coronation Series, we thought he'd keep adventuring and keep being 10 years old. Forever. I mean, earlier that year, the general director of the Pokemon anime himself even talked about exactly why.
Did you write it?
Ages. In the setting of the animation, the main character Ash is forever 10 years old, and the background season is forever early summer. And on top of that, a day of summer vacation repeats perpetually. This is what I've hoped to create: a view of the world that would be an ideal for children.
See, I don't like shit like that, bro.
There is something amazing about the floating timeline that Ash lived on, where summer never ends and characters never age.
It's weird, bro. It don't make no sense because time be passing, but time's not passing though.
He was always young, full of dreams, and his only limit was his imagination, which made
Are you full of dreams, but you can't grow up to fulfill them dreams?
That feeling of summer break when you were a kid, where every day was a new adventure, and you never needed to work 9 to 5, clean poo, or do other adult things that are way less fun than running around the forest with your friends. I think the eternal summer that Yuyama talked about is a huge part of the old anime's appeal that kept hardcore fans glued to the show for so many years. Except, let's be real, we all wanted to see Ash Ketchum grow up, at least a little bit, and now Pokemon Horizons is finally breaking the anime's biggest rule by aging up the cast, which also increases the chances of eventually seeing a grown-up Ash. And before we talk about how that could happen, here's how the time skip in Pokemon Horizons is going to work. Basically, after a shocking conclusion to the current anime arc, either naturally or through some kind of time distortion, the cast will be older by the time the next season starts. I mean, just look at Liko. She's got a new outfit and a new hairstyle, her indigo clip is snapped into 2 pieces.
See, like, this is the shit that be blowing. Like, I can't do animes where they're all kids, bro. Like, this nigga over here analyzing a child, bro. Like, I can't do that, series,
but she still looks pretty cool. Then we've got the older version of Roy, who basically turned into Guel from Gundam, meaning that he looks way more badass than when he was younger. And
you gotta have a little height on you, bro. A little age on you.
First, he's got a bracelet with a Mega Stone. Hold on. He's got this new vest that looks like he cut up Professor Freed's coat with a pair of scissors.
I seen they bringing Megas back, though.
Actually an important
you know that's tough as fuck,
Professor
bro. Megas
was my favorite, like, trainer that Roy always dreamt of becoming, a powerful adventurer who everyone could count on. And even Roy's partner Pokemon dreamt of becoming cool and strong, just like Freed's Charizard. But
I don't gonna lie, they have not been cooking with the
starters. It looks like he's getting sealed, just like Gojo got sealed in Jujutsu Kaisen, which is actually pretty funny since we were already joking about how similar these characters were way back in 2023. And with Freed now out of the picture, I guess that Roy's vest symbolizes how he is going to be taking on the role of his old mentor as the group's protector.
This nigga hyper analyzing. Yo, maybe he just wanted to switch up the
but
drip
it does
game.
Make perfect sense that he's leaving. After all, one major criticism of the first 2 years of Pokemon Horizons was that Freed was constantly bailing Liko and Roy out of trouble, especially in the first year, which really seemed to slow their character.
Yo, should I watch this shit, bro?
It turns out that showing how much Liko and Roy over-relied on Freed was how the anime set up their development from weak trainers into fairly capable trainers, which is what the Terrestrial training arc was all about. And fortunately, they leveled up enough to stand on their own 2 feet just in time. As for Dot, she looks less tomboyish and more like a big, awkward caterpillar, and I'm not exactly sure what I think about this aged up design, since it doesn't exactly project visually that she's becoming more confident and strong, which has been one of the key developments in Dot's character arc. But we'll see what happens. On the other hand, all the crew's Pokemon look pretty much the same.
I'm praying for this nigga's sake that they give it time skip,
fast asleep in a Pokeball. It's also
this
worth
nigga's
noting
too
that
old to
Captain
be
Pikachu
hyper
is still
analyzing
around because Pikachu, and that since he's Freed's best buddy, it's really touching to see him holding onto Freed's goggles as a reminder of their time together.
By the way.
Also, Roy now has a shiny Mega Lucario, and frankly, I don't know about you, but I am disappointed that we are seeing yet another Lucario partner. Not just because the shiny is
Lucario hard as shit, yo.
Mustard, but there are just so many other interesting Pokemon that could be partnered with Roy, like Hitmonchan. Unfortunately,
much.
no matter
That nigga
what
look like Groot.
risks the Pokemon anime is willing to take, it seems that there is no escape from Pikachu, Charizard, or Lucario. Now, obviously, since the new
Bro, I
season
feel like
is
they
called
coulda done
Mega
more with Mega
Voltage,
Lucario,
the show
bro.
will
They just
tie
made
into
his
the
dicks
upcoming
on the back of his
Pokemon
head long
Legends
as fuck.
ZA video game, so the setup for a lazy
Like,
Lucario
nigga, tell me that
stick
shit
was
don't look
just
exactly
too
the same.
easy. What's more interesting is the brand new character
They just
Uruto
put- they
and
put
his
him in some
partner.
Balenci,
We
low-key,
don't
he got
know
that
if
fur.
Uruto is a friend or an enemy just yet, but we do know that he has a hairy mantine on his head. And more importantly, he's buddies with a Sableye, one of my favorite Pokemon.
One of
Not
the
to
worst
mention that
Pokemon.
Mega Sableye is a much more refreshing Mega Pokemon to bring into the main
Oh, I
cast than
forgot
Mega
about Mega
Lucario.
Sableye.
My guess
Always
is that
hiding behind that
Uruto
big-ass
himself
shield.
enters the show as a rival, but slowly warms up to the party to help fill that masculine
never seen that
void
green
left by
Pokemon.
Freed. Which makes you realize that the only other time we saw that 2-2 male-to-female party balance, aside from a few cameo situations, was way back in the XY anime with Ash,
Yo,
Serena, Clement,
the best
and Bonnie.
fucking
And we know
anime
how much
ever,
everyone
bro.
loved
What
that
y'all know about
combination,
X and Y,
so
bro?
That could be a good sign. Then
Literally-
again, Uruto
literally
could
the
also
best
end up being
Pokemon
Roy's
show
equivalent to
ever
Gary or
created,
Paul.
bro.
Only time will tell. Of course, I'm also
Bro, if they
wondering
make
what's
another
going to
X and Y
happen to
type
the
show, I'm
other
watching
Rising
that
Bolt
shit.
tacklers. Presumably, we need Orla, Murdoch, Molly,
So are
and
these?
Ludlow to
I'm
operate
guessing
the
these
Brave
are the main
Olivine,
characters
which
of
we can
Pokemon right
see
now.
in the new
Because
season's
I
promo
seen that
poster.
Ash
So
isn't the
it
main
doesn't
character
look
right
like they
now.
are getting
Or
sealed or
something like
murdered
that.
along with Freed, which probably means that they'll age up too.
Who the
And
shit?
that is very
I was
bad
gonna say
news
she
for Ludlow.
bad, but like I don't even
Either
want to.
way,
That might be a
people
kid,
are
bro.
hyped
So I'm
about
not
the
even gonna risk
Timeskip,
saying that.
Not just because it's a first for the anime, but because it's also a pretty rare thing in the Pokemon universe in general. Because even though there's a somewhat clearly defined timeline spanning millions of years, there aren't many examples of characters physically
Solgaleo!
maturing, unless you count Baniri. Games like Gold and
Shout out
Silver
Sun and
and
Moon,
Black
bro.
and White 2
I
do
love
show
Sun
the
and Moon.
passage of time to some extent, and even the original Black and White games have seasons. Not to mention that the Legends video games
Legends
show
are-
us
I played this
Sinnoh
one.
and
This
Kalos
game's
at
tough.
different times from when we experienced them in the main series video games, and it does look like Annabelle ages quite substantially from when we see her in the Battle Frontier to when
Oh
she
my
shows
God,
up
back in Alola,
but
bro.
seeing human
I can
characters
recognize that from
physically mature in the
anywhere.
Pokemon anime and
Anywhere.
the Pokemon video games is still a rarity. On the
I've
other
seen that
hand, we
screen on my
have the
DS so many
Pokemon
times.
Adventures manga, because in Pokemon Adventures, time passes and the characters actually do get visibly older. For example,
shit.
Red. When he debuts as the main character
Oh,
in the
Red
first
and bro, I
Pokemon
forgot about Red and
Adventures
Blue,
chapter way
bro.
back in March 1997, just a month before Ash
Dude,
debuted
Red
in
is
the
so much
anime,
colder than
Red is
Ash, bro.
only
Let's be
11
se-
years old.
let's be
But
serious, bro.
unlike Ash,
That nigga
as the
picked
manga
the
progresses,
Charizard,
Red
like
actually
everyone
ages
should've.
11, 13, 14, 16, and by the time
Wait,
he
Ash picked
appears
the
in
Charizard
the
too,
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire arc, he's already 20. Not to
Damn!
forget that that was quite a while ago, so who knows how old he is now. And because he
That nigga
ages, we see
87,
Red
bro.
go through different stages of life, from an ambitious beginner to a confident league winner to a mentor and a guardian like Freed, who shows up to bail out the new
Bro,
generation.
Pokemon might have
Seeing
fallen
Red
off,
grow
bro,
up has
because,
been seriously rewarding.
That
but
shit
the
looked
time skip
live
in
as
Pokemon
hell.
Horizons could be either good or bad news for people who love Liko and Roy,
wish they kept the
because
same main
in the
characters.
Pokemon manga, growing up means making space for the new generation. And people have always suspected that after Ash's departure, the Pokemon anime would start to copy the manga format, bringing in new main characters every 3 to 4 years. So
That's what the
unlike
manga
Ash,
do?
who never aged, Liko and Roy aging up
That's
could mean
so
that they've already
stupid.
got one foot
It's
out
like
the door.
you're a
towards their
fan of the
own
Pokemon
off-screen
world. You're not even a
adventures.
fan of the main
But speaking
characters,
of
bro. That
Ash,
defeats
what
the whole
could the
purpose
time skip mean for the world
of
champ
why I like
who's been
shows, bro.
adventuring
Like
off-screen
liking the
since March
characters.
2023? The possibilities are exciting
off
because
screen
not
for
only
2
does the
years.
time skip break 28 years of the floating timeline format,
Damn.
which opens the door to all kinds of possibilities, but if Ash actually makes a cameo at some point, which people expect he eventually might, since
He
how could the
definitely will,
producers
bro.
say
Why-
no to the
exactly,
Pokemon?
that's so
Then
much
we
money,
could
bro.
see an aged up Ash, assuming that the two shows
If
take
they're
place
fucking
on the
smart,
same
they'll
timeline,
make him
and that
older, bro, because
post-time
that
skip
won't
Pokemon
go viral, I'm
Horizons
telling
doesn't
you.
start at Ash's
That will bring.
10th
That, I
birthday
might
or
see that
later.
on my
Come
For You
guys,
page.
make it happen.
And niggas don't even
I
be
mean,
talking
there
about
are just
Pokemon
so
on
many
TikTok.
things that we still want to know about Ash and his future. What exactly do he and Pikachu do after
Imagine
the
he come back with a
conclusion of
Raichu.
to be a Pokemon Master?
Fuck
Which
no.
Pokemon does he catch during his next adventures?
the shit
does
is
he
it?
look like when he grows up? Does he
Is that,
finally date one of his
Yu Yu
travel
Hakusho?
companions? Does he start his own Pokemon League? Does he have kids? And even more importantly, we just want to see Ash, like Red, show up as a badass big bro to help the next generation of trainers reach their dreams. And it would
Facts.
just be so much cooler if he'd aged
And
up.
they should use
On
this
one hand,
animation
it would be
style,
pretty
not
crazy
gonna
to
lie,
break
bro.
Ash's eternal summer that Mr. Yuyama talked
old
about back in
anime just looks
2022.
tough as
But now
shit,
that the
bro.
Pokemon Horizons cast are growing
And also,
up,
like,
I'm
the
sure that many
Pokemon
of the
anime,
fans
it
who
kinda
grew up with
goes for
Ash
more
would love to see
cartoon
him grow up.
All right,
too.
I'm cool if the niggas yapping because we're kind of yapping with each other, so it's kind of hard to. But shit, that's why I want to react to a YouTube video. It's a yap off. Hey, bro, I guess Pokemon getting a time skip. Let me know if y'all want to see me start watching it, bro. Cause I could catch Ash. I could catch Ash. Pause. the catcher gets caught. Anyways, bro, I'm out of here. I'm gonna catch y'all niggas in the next one, bro. Peace.